Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Back at it again. Happy New Year! Back at it again. We'll be the first to welcome you all into 2026 for the Bearcat Bounce Podcast. Monday following the closing of the book of the 2025 football season. A 7-6 with a tough loss in the Liberty Bowl to Navy. That's Monday. Monday as well following another tough loss to the Houston Cougars. 13 straight to Kelvin Sampson and those boys. We'll talk about that. Monday, portal time. We'll talk about that Monday. But it's also a Monday, though, where I get to be happy because I'm joined by literally the three greatest guys in all the world. That's right. Without further ado, Aaron Smith, Chad Brendel, and Ryan Royer. Gentlemen, how are we?
Good. I think my house might spontaneously combust at some point in time here during the podcast, but other than that, made a little. My dad got me a new wok for Christmas. Busted that out tonight. Made some stir fry, some white rice.
Wow.
It's pretty tasty. So things are going pretty good.
That's what I like to hear. A little walk, man. Golly,
Waka.
When did you get back into town?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday evening.
Fun little time down in old Tennessee. How about that?
Did a little in and out before the drive home.
Okay.
That's 2 days in a row.
Take.
You've hit us with the Fozzie Bear, by the way. 2 days in a row.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Waka.
Did you go animal style, Chad?
No. In and out's just it's okay. Hot take. And it's good for the price is good. The price is good. The burger's solid for a fast food burger. I don't get the 5-hour lines. Like the ones down in Tennessee. I think Keegan ended up adding like 3.5 hours to his trip to Memphis because he went to In-N-Out before he went to Nashville, got In-N-Out, and then went to Memphis. Now,
wow. Okay.
He also doesn't know how to work a map. He went to the In-N-Out that was the farthest away from Memphis.
Wow.
So he went all the way over here and then all the way back across. He was in a Tesla. Like the Tesla should have, I guess he didn't tell it that the next stop was Memphis. But
maybe there was like a charge port nearby or something.
Like we were there right when it opened. We got in right away. Sat down, ate. Like we were in and out of the place in like 45 minutes.
But don't
in and out of the place in 45 minutes. Like it wasn't bad, but it's just an oak. Like it's a good fast food burger.
Yeah.
It's better than McDonald's. But if you're asking me, like, do I want a Five Guys burger and an In-N-Out burger? I'm taking the Five Guys burger.
Okay. See, I don't think that's too hot of a take. Because I hear I've never been to In-N-Out. Well, I have been to In-N-Out. I take that back. But it was like a spring break in San Diego where I was inside of the In-N-Out, but was I really at the In-N-Out type scenario? You know what I mean? So yeah, one of those. So
you were intoxicated? That's hard to believe.
Oh man, who would have thunk it? But yeah, I think that's pretty mid. It's got the notoriety and people
good.
Give it that. But
like if there was one around and the lines were reasonable, I would get it on a decent rotation.
Yeah. But Five Guys is the move if you want to go fast food burger. I mean that's primo right there. But well, welcome back, Chad. Welcome back.
Thanks, Aaron. Boy, what a trip that was.
Yeah. The Tennessee two-step, I think is what they call it. Yeah. You made it. Aaron, how are we, sir?
I'm doing fine. It's our 11-year-old's birthday today, so
happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Knox.
birthday.
Yeah.
He
just unwrapped his only gift. He got a 3D printer, so he's pretty stoked.
Ooh.
He's gonna be making some crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Don't have him 3D print any guns or anything. I've been seeing those running around the internet. I'll keep an eye on him.
He already that was one of the first questions he asked, actually. So
you literally just put that into the world, Ryan. Great job, man.
it was already there. It was already there.
It was already there.
The dark minds.
It was my sister's birthday yesterday, Aaron. So pretty, right there,
Yeah, there you go.
4th, 5th, and now the next 2 days are 6th and 7th.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby. Yeah, well, good to hear, Aaron. Great job on the nightcaps, and great job on the aftermaths, and you're killing it there in Athens, Ohio. Ryan Royer, Mr. 1000 Club, Mr. Get kicked out of an NFL game club.
Yeah,
man. Welcome back to the BBP. How are we?
And we're good buddies, but I can't claim any bit of the 1,000 Yards Club. Maybe a little bit of the toss out of the game. Kind of my jackassery might have rubbed off on him a little bit, but no, I'm doing good. That was a good way to close out the NFL season, getting to watch Alec, really cement himself like that. So good watching of that yesterday. But yeah, it's been a good New Year to start. Not so good for the Cats. But other than that, the personal life New Year's been good to me. So I'm happy to start it off here with y'all.
Wow. I like that. Congratulations. It's a hell of a way to start out 2026, man. Yeah. Happy New Year. Let me be I missed the golden opportunity last week. I could have done the typical see you all next year, but I didn't. I fumbled the bag on that one.
That surprises me a lot coming from you.
I agree.
Is that how you just told us that you got engaged? Like, are you engaged now? Is that?
Congratulations, Ryan.
Oh, me no. No, I just did the same. I did the same thing I always do, but it was fun start. Nothing new though.
Yep. Same thing you always do. Me too. Shark drop, 5th annual shark drop. They drop a shark from the sky, like the ball drop, but it's a shark. It's crazy. Anyway,
seems like kind of messed up.
A live shark.
Peter's not pissed.
Oh, it's a hammerhead shark, and it's a fake one. It's definitely fake. So everyone could take a deep breath on that one.
It would be cool if they just had a pool below it, and there's a bunch of people in the pool, and they just drop it in from 30 feet.
Kind of down for that. I will suggest that to the mayor. See what I can work up for next.
Last one in the pool gets $500.
Oh, I like that. Mr.
Alive.
Beast
Last
can
one
sponsor
alive.
It. Yeah. Oh no. Ooh, I kind of like this, like a BCJ, Mr. Beast collab.
I want no part of this.
He's dying to collab with us. He probably watches every week.
He does. He DMs me. It's wild. Well, guys, Happy New Year, as we've said 7 times. But Danco Transmission Auto Care wants you to come in 7 times throughout the year. Make sure you get that oil changed. Make sure you get a little fixing for the old vehicle. Start the year out strong over at Danco Transmission Auto Care. $10 off that oil change, 10% off that fixing. Danco Transmission and Auto Care. We love you, Danco. Joe, I'd love to get a good, little 2 cents on the 2025 football season from Joe. He definitely sprinkled some positivity into my life. But we are live at the Cincy Lights Studios, and Chad, you were down there in Memphis. Let's go ahead and start with football. Might as well. Open and shut this book. The Navy game. Obviously, whenever you throw in the whole scenario of the amount of players sitting out for the Bearcats, whether it be via transfer portal, whether it be getting ready for the NFL draft, and then you add in playing Navy, obviously a team that plays a unique style, runs the ball a lot, and it really wears you down and makes for not the greatest viewing experience. And then you add in a torrential downpour, weather that was extremely unkind, very strange weather, because they kept on showing that little Doppler radar, and it was just like one big cloud over Memphis, and everywhere else was just peaches and cream.
Yeah.
It was very, very strange. Anyway, you tie all that together, and guess what you come out with, Ryan Royer? You come out with a 35-13 loss. The Navy midshipmen take down the Bearcats, ending the season 7-6, 5 straight losses for the second consecutive year to close out the season. Ryan, just quick thoughts on the game itself. Obviously, you're familiar with Navy. You played them a few times. Just so many factors that just make for a very, diddly poo type game, because it was all going against Cincinnati, especially with the facts that Navy's not going to have anyone entering the portal or holding out this, that, and the other. So it was kind of a lot of dominoes that fell Navy's way.
Yeah, a little pun. It was the perfect storm for Navy. They want bad field conditions where they can just run the ball. You combine that with them, their philosophy of no portal. They kept hitting on it on the broadcast, how the players were talking about the brotherhood, and they all want to go out there and play this game. And then you counter that with us having 26 or so guys out, all big contributors, especially not having Sorsby trying to throw out there. Brady and Jones, there was no passing attack. So we weren't going to have the ball out to begin with. And basically our only plan on offense was to run the ball. And it worked a little bit with Jones at the quarterback run. He showed some good promise there, sticking his nose into some contact and, giving us some life at points. But I was never expecting us to win that game to begin with. Then when I see rain and all that, and you kind of see the offensive game plan start to develop, it was like, we're not going to have the ball a lot. We're not going to be able to run the ball as well as them. And yeah, it was a shitty experience to watch. Watching our DBs getting kind of cooked by guys that are not very known for being able to get open on their offense. Just showing kind of bad eye discipline in the back end when that should be mainly your first key to read there. Is it's one-on-one. You got to be able to man these guys up. Yeah, it was just Navy did everything. We didn't have any stop to anything they did. And
I disagree with that. I thought the defense played really well for a majority of the game. I mean, first half they were outstanding, but when the offense can't move the ball at all, you're gonna wear down playing that triple option attack over and over and over. I mean, I thought Jonathan Thompson played outstanding. I thought Peak was really good. Sabor looked good until he got ejected. They were making plays at the line of scrimmage. They weren't letting Navy get the edges and just get free runs. They're gonna get some yards on the ground. This isn't a defense with a bunch of, like, you guys when you first played them, you didn't have a bunch of dudes that were NFL guys. Even they might have been, but they were young. By the time you guys got dialed in and shut them down, that was, 6, 7 NFL stacked guys on defense.
Yep, 6, 7.
Hey, but I thought the defense held up better than I expected them to hold up against Navy for 75% of the game. I didn't think Navy pushed UC around. You did?
No, I wouldn't say I don't think they dominated them, but it definitely, I was alluding to it before with the passing touchdowns. The critical errors that lead to two big
true freshmen.
I know, but I was just about to say you're adding in there, like, those guys getting their most significant reps are against a completely unorthodox offense that they've been going against all year. And it's hard, man. When you got the lights are bright, your first time getting like significant, play out there, it's to be able to go out there and execute every single play. It's hard to expect. And it just, those times where we needed to stop or the Navy needed, a play, they were able to kind of make it happen in the passing game, which the reason I'm saying it's because I don't know their philosophy, but it's pretty evident that it was man-on-man defense against guys who are essentially just tight ends that can run a little bit better in their receiving core or their slots. So it was just, for me, I'm like, well, that's your one job. We miss out there, let up 2 touchdowns. It kind of really put the game out of reach. But Chad, you're I think you have some good points there with the defense kind of holding in there. But when our offense can't score quick, when we're just having to run the ball damn near the same clip that Navy is, it's not going to bode well because they're going to be able to run their stuff better than we're going to be able to run the ball 80% of the time. But it doesn't it was disappointing, but I'm not like, I was expecting them to lose and they lost. I mean, I think all the wind was kind of out of the sails there. And then you take out a bunch of good players on the team. It doesn't make me, here we go. Like, that makes me feel worse about the year or worse about the program and the coaching staff. It was kind of went as expected.
Yeah. I mean, 3 out of the first 4 drives for Navy were 3 and out. So pretty solid job defensively. But also, the main position that was decimated by all the, people holding out or entering the portal before the game was pretty much the defensive backfield. So you're just going to struggle, especially in guess what? Here's your first time of real action. And on top of it, it's going to be raining cats and dogs on a field that has wet paint everywhere. I mean, golly days. That was just the weirdest scenario taking shape and obviously led to a disappointing loss. I have some good performances still, though. Manny Covey is the one that I keep on looking at. Obviously had a punt return that he probably could have taken all the way. Chad, I agree with what you were saying on the
should have just kept going. He didn't need to cut back.
It was the punter that he cut back on too. It's like I just outrun
his ass.
Yeah, he was cutting like he was on turf in the middle of September.
Right.
Yeah,
that's what he's trying to. If that was a nipper back in week 5, I mean that's house.
Then he makes the punter look stupid and he runs through the house. Yeah.
And his whole foot was just covered in red paint after that cut too. It's just like, what are we doing out here, guys? That was nuts. But yeah, I mean it's another bad scenario where you got to feel for Lichty a little bit, where it's like, finally you get the chance. I think he started one game during the Emory Jones year, and then this is his second start of his career. Could have potentially had the opportunity to kind of sling the ball around a little bit, and then of course it's just an absolute monsoon and you're not throwing in that. So kind of feel for that guy a little bit. Shouts to Cyrus Allen, obviously caps one of the best wide receiver seasons in Bearcat history, tying Bones Barnett. How about that when they showed that graphic of who he's tied with now is Marcus Bones Barnett. What a stud. What a true freshman.
What a year he had.
Bones.
Yeah.
Golly.
Was that Mock?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it was Ben Mock, right? Yeah. Gosh. The bionic arm. Anyway, so some good performances. Just a weird type of you could just tell that the rain was truly affecting the game. There was no way to put it. It was just gross and disgusting. But you know what?
It was bad, man. Like like I said the other night, the only one the monsoon at Paul Brown Stadium, the hurricane remnants, were terrible. Like that was easily the worst game conditions in the 19 years I've been doing this.
Just didn't stop.
It's just a constant torrential downpour.
Yeah.
But it was.
Are you there,
at least
Ryan?
Yeah.
I thought so.
My second year. Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah.
This wasn't far behind. Especially, it's 39 degrees, 38 degrees or whatever, and just a constant steady rain. Like it wasn't a downpour per se, but it was just a constant rain.
Yeah.
And did not let up. And the crazy thing, like I said, it started right as they ran out of the tunnel for the game. It started raining hard. It was like sprinkling very, very light before then.
Yeah.
I was down on the field talking to people like before the game, it wasn't much. And then they came out of the tunnel. It started raining and it didn't stop until like 5 minutes left to go in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was done for the rest of the night. And the rest of the weekend was sunny. It rained hard in Memphis for the game. And that was it. It was crazy.
Nuts,
Navy boys summoned Poseidon.
They did. They probably did. And, I'm on that side with you guys too. Like, and Ryan, during your playing days, did Navy, the chippiest game that I've seen all year.
You're not allowed to say that. They're signed up to die for you and your country, Brent. We saw it in the chat.
I agree. Yes.
I don't know what
they're water. Unfair.
Appreciative for all they do, but golly.
I don't know if that's like if it was some sort of like, hey, like they got called up to the Big 12, like let's go show them like they weren't good enough. I don't know what, because it was like constant shit talking. Like,
yeah.
I feel like Navy was kind of setting the tone with it, and Cincy kind of was responding, the rest of the game, which, it's football. Like guys are going to be amped up, and there's going to be some high temper, high energy going. So I didn't see anything that was, that one personal foul who got that one? I can't remember.
Quavo or Covey.
Yeah, but because you watch it because the guy was shoving his head into the ground like as he was on top of him. Obviously, you can't get up and swing, but it wasn't like he just got up and just swung on him. It was, it was weird. Got to have a little bit more control. But I mean, the Navy guy was, he kind of started it in a way, giving a little extra shove to the back of the helmet.
It's always the second guy. Always the retaliation that gets you. And that was a weird scenario too. It's like, what? So Sat said that the officials told him that the personal foul was on Navy. And so they didn't run that additional play to eat up the 15 yards before halftime. Who knows, man? But that's just another.
We ended up tackling him at like the 25 anyway.
Yeah, it was
on the ensuing. Yeah.
The whole thing didn't matter. But in the end, like we said, that 35-13 in L. I think, if you guys want to talk anything more about the game, obviously we can, but no, it was one of those where it's just like, yep, so many players were out. One player was in the midst of getting a major bag, and obviously Sorsby in this game might have been a little helpful, but who knows? The weather
probably
was
not
as bad as possible. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that leads us to the current day. Probably the biggest story coming out of the game was Tyson Veit moving to Penn State. That leaves a vacant spot at the defensive coordinator position for the Bearcats currently. And questions arise as to who might secure that spot. Chad, I don't know if you've heard anything more along those lines, but I imagine
Marcus Freeman, rumored.
They're being pretty tight-lipped. They're being pretty tight-lipped, which is typically how assistant coach hirings go. Like the coach, if you're bringing in somebody from the outside, they don't want their current employer to know unless it's a done deal, because that damages the relationship where they're currently at. Like it just doesn't. There's not a lot of open exchange like there is in a head coaching search. I can go down mainly because covering UC, I've done a lot of head coaching searches. You can go a bunch of different ways to find information.
Right.
That doesn't exist on the assistant front unless you have like a lead.
Yeah.
And so far I haven't dialed down any, this is who I think it is. And then you can start digging and get more of an answer. Right. But my understanding is they're pretty far down the road with this thing. This is not like they started looking for a DC on Saturday morning.
Right.
So my understanding is they're working through this. I would say at this point, I probably expect it to be somebody from the outside, but like a Court Braswell wouldn't shock me if, I just don't know, like, what defense would he run? What, he would have to have made a really good pitch to Braithwaite, kind of the side. He's been a defensive coordinator at a lower level. So I'm not ruling out that it's somebody internal, but my guess would be somebody from the outside. Like the offensive stuff, I'm hearing a lot more about that in terms of some internal adjustments to the offensive staff. But, I would think I would have heard more along that front if they were just simply going to promote somebody. But who knows at this point? It's one, I haven't had a whole lot of time to dig on defensive coordinator because the portal has been a very insane ride through these first 4 days. Like, it has been banana land.
Right. It has. I all over the country, and especially for the Bearcats. What kind of importance do you think it is to have a defensive coordinator kind of locked up before all these, portal additions happen? Because I imagine people want to come in and kind of be like, okay, listen, this is the scheme we're going to run. This is the guy who's going to be calling the defense. Ryan, I feel like that's a pretty damn important thing to have in place.
Yep, it's important for portal. It's important for recruiting. It's important too because, we're not far away from some sort of like. I mean, I guarantee you these guys are going to want to start doing some sort of winter like player ran stuff. Post lifting where you're going to want a coach that's going to have an established defense that guys can start learning the playbook, running some 7-on-7 against the offense. And because the offense isn't going to change with Satterfield there, so they'll be fine. But having a defense that's ready to kind of step in there, learn the stuff, get comfortable, because that, there's going to be a shift in like position coaches as well, depending on who they bring in. Guys getting comfortable with their new position coach and the new scheme. It's not as important as portal, but it is, the quicker, the better.
I would just say the interesting part there is, Ryan, Tyson Veit didn't necessarily have a position. Like Braithwaite coached the safeties. Tyson Veit was the star coach or whatever, like however they want, but he was not like dialed in position coach. He was more of an overseer type defensive coordinator role. So that I think gives you a little bit of flexibility because you're not pigeonholed into the defensive coordinator also has to be a linebacker coach. The defensive coordinator also has to be the corners coach. Like you've got a little bit more flexibility there where you can hire the best guy as opposed to trying to kill two birds with one stone, I guess. And by the way, should we tell this story, Aaron?
It's a great story.
Jeffrey Howell Jr. .162. Thank you for the donation. He says Keegan looks so much different than I remember. We have had a group chat that consists of me, Aaron, Dave, and Brent and Jeff. For how long, guys? 3 years? 4 years? Jeff, for the entirety of the group chat, has had Brent Young's numbers saved as Keegan. So for the entirety of this group chat, he has believed he has been texting with Keegan, and it has been Brent. So he texted something over the weekend to Keegan, and I was like, Jeff, Keegan's not in this group chat. And he texted back his screen where it was the text, and it said Keegan. And I'm like, that's Brent.
Damn, Brent.
Hey,
Jeff
know what?
Jeff has never been so much like Ed.
I've got my. Let's just say I'm hip. I'm young and hip out here.
Clearly,
I was able to disguise myself quite well. And the funny thing is, Roy, a couple times he would like text in the group. He'd be like, man, you're too young to even understand. And so I'd be like, oh wow, I'll take it. Yeah, I am young, brother. Let's go.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah. Turns out no, he's just thought I was Keegan, which also means that this whole time he was probably like, wow, Keegan writes so eloquently, yet he texts like an absolute savage. What's going on? So
it does happen, but it was one of the highlights of the weekend. It was one of the highlights of the weekend.
It was fun. But anyway, back to it. The football squad. Let's talk Portal. Obviously, we're in the thick of it. The obvious number one position in college football is quarterback, and I don't know how much you can divulge into the situation going on in that realm right now. Obviously, Sorsby out, having himself in freaking Times Square. Like, what wild world are we living in? He
didn't have himself there. So Campbell had him put there.
Well, obviously, yes, but still, it's like, I mean, he's going to probably be in the running for Heisman, preseason Heisman voting, and all that jazz. And yet, here we are. The Bearcats are trying to replace. So let's see what we can do. Chad, you want to divulge anything you got?
Here's the tough part. I really think like they felt they were in a similar situation as 2 years ago with Lincoln Kienholz, and felt like they could get to the portal, get him on campus. The plan was for him to come on campus Saturday and then try to get it done. And very similar to how Sorsby, when he got here, they got him here, didn't let him leave, got a commitment, got it done. When you miss, when that happens, you're kind of in scramble drill, because if you go down the list, almost all of these high major schools got their quarterback target there the first day, the second day, and got it done. And by Sunday, there weren't a lot of those chairs left open.
Right.
And you have to pivot. And that makes it really difficult. So that's the high stakes game of poker that is portal recruiting in 2026.
Yep.
And if you don't have like LSU, it looked pretty clear like Sorsby was their guy. Texas Tech, he was their guy. Both schools brought him in. LSU's got the money and Lane Kiffin's pedigree that now they're in the mix with Sam Leavitt. Like, they can try to force their way into another situation. Yeah, they missed on the Ohio State guy, Tucker. That's
he's going to Louisville, Tucker.
Going to Louisville. Louisville got him in Friday night. And from what I knew, like, the mom was supposed to come to town. The girlfriend was supposed to come to town. So, like, they had this thing very similar to how they had Sorsby set up 2 years ago. And he ended up at Louisville the night before. And then the next day, Louisville didn't let him get off campus without a commitment. Got it done. What I heard they paid, like, it's a lot of money to pay a guy that has thrown like 11 passes in college. Like, maybe he turns out to be great. I don't know.
Sounds like there was a lot of kidnapping going on this weekend.
A lot.
I'm saying.
Nationally, internationally.
Right.
But that's kind of what happens when you've got that number one target, and if you don't hit it, you jump from the front of the line on one of the guys that you feel like was up here. Now you've got to slide back and reassess, and figure out what exactly it looks like on the next tier. Because if all those tier 1A guys went on one, maybe two visits and made a decision, are there any of those like really, really high-end, high-level guys left? The first like 15, 20 guys, most of them are gone. And that's just the game of chicken, the everybody's all in, and you're trying to figure out who flips the pot. So they got it done with Sorsby. They didn't get it done with Keinholz, and that means you kind of have to reset. You can have a plan B, but what if your plan B is already? I know they had a plan B, and that plan B, by the time that everything played out with Keinholz, that plan B was already, down the road with somebody else. So that you got to win the flip, right? You in 3.5. Are you gonna make it 3.75 on a roster where you need a ton of work?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I'm not in those boots to have to make that decision.
Yeah. I mean, can we mention who's on campus now for a visit? You posted it on the board.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of out there.
Yeah. I mean, JC French would be the name. By the time you're listening to this, who knows? So, something, obviously continue to track it, but there were 4 commitments so far out of the portal. They've been around 20, a little bit more that have entered the portal from UC. I think kind of maybe Caleb Goody and Noah Jennings were some that you were kind of like, oh, whoa. Because obviously those could have been 2 guys that could have had
I think Jennings kind of faded as the year went on. Like it didn't seem like they trusted him as much.
Yeah.
The last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know if there was a rift there or what exactly happened. Goody, I think teams just figured out, like, if you don't let him get past you, there wasn't a whole lot in the arsenal.
Yeah. So it'll be yet again a completely brand new wide receiver room. Fired up again. The portal is portaling. You did get 2 commitments in running backs today, which is pretty interesting. Cole Tab from Stanford, and then of course the LaSalle High School Cincinnati native Jabron Payne from Notre Dame coming to the join the Bearcats. So seems as if the running back position is pretty fully stocked now. Maybe just run the ball 50 times a game, right, Ryan, and just see where it leads you behind that offensive line. But
Tab's pretty clearly that, like, power, short, stocky, good contact balance. Tyree Walker, Corey Kiner, even though they weren't the same type of player, but like that physical downhill, one cut guy. Payne is kind of a lottery ticket. Like, he's been injured a lot over the past couple of years, like since his junior year in high school, really. So kind of getting I can't imagine that one had a hefty price tag on it. He gets to come home if he's healthy. Could have we had this conversation with somebody 2 years ago, remember?
Evan Pryor.
Joe Royer.
Oh.
Joe Royer, yeah.
True. Coming home, hurt a lot, never really got a chance to play, to show what he could do. He was in a loaded running back room at Notre Dame. So, you cash that lottery ticket. You hit that lottery ticket and then you lost it before you made it to the lottery department to cash it.
You couldn't quite target it.
It was bracketed. It was bracketed. But yeah, I think Payne is kind of that lottery ticket of, he was really highly rated. People loved him.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. My buddy, Kevin Bowen, he's huge Notre Dame fan. He's host a radio show in Indianapolis. So he all in on everything Notre Dame. He texted me immediately, said, good short yardage guy, reliable, good in pass protection. Injuries hurt him, plus the obvious talent in the backfield. So if you remember, Payne obviously he's going to be a big time feature back for a while, and then all of a sudden in the spring game tears his ACL and is out for that 2024 season. And that's when a little guy by the name of Jeremiah Love emerged. Ryan,
turned out well for Notre Dame.
Yeah, you know that name, Jeremiah Love. So that ended up
pretty solid.
being all she wrote with that. And I think Payne was able to pick and choose his moments this year. Obviously, we'll get a good chance next season to see what he can do. And I mean, kind of similar to Corey Kiner, his back in high school, how much notoriety and juice surrounding him throughout his high school days as Payne was getting as well. So that'll be fun to see what he can do. And then two also on the defensive side, MJ Cannon out of Bowling Green, and
good
then
size, 6'2" corner. How about that?
Hey now.
No more 5'8" corners. No more corners I see eye to eye with.
Exactly. And then out of UTSA.
Build?
Oh, little saucy.
Not that big.
Not 6'3".
No.
Not 6'3" with go-go gadget arms, but much better size.
And closing speed out the wazoo. Chidera Otutu, UTSA defensive lineman. So, the portal's portaling. Chad posted a few more to keep an eye on the board. I highly suggest you head over there and check that out.
If the wide receiver hits, I like that one a lot.
Yeah. I mean, his stats speak for themselves. Obviously, it'll be a nice night. They need it, so we'll see. See what happens. A lot of stuff.
All that information at the paid service bearcatjournal.com.
There we go. Paid. Pay it forward, brothers. Pay it forward. Anything more football, guys, or you want to go ahead and timestamp and we roll bounce?
I mean, I guess we probably. I don't think Brad Glenn will be the offensive coordinator next year. Brad Glenn might still be on staff. I don't know of that specifically. How that all plays out. I don't think
he was the offensive coordinator this year.
Look, it's tough to be an offensive coordinator in a system where the head coach calls the plays. Like, you're going to take a fair share of heat. Yep. We'll see how that plays out. I do think, like, if you're looking at the offensive staff, I think there's two guys that have stood out over the last couple of years. Nick Cardwell, Pete Thomas. Quarterbacks have developed. I mean, Brendan Sorsby, when people complain about JC French, there's a lot of people that were pissed about Brendan Sorsby. We're going to go get a guy that couldn't even win the starting job at Indiana to come in here and be the quarterback. He was a quarterback for 2 years, and he left as the number one quarterback in the portal, top 5 player in the portal. So Pete Thomas has done an outstanding job. Nick Cardwell has clearly done an outstanding job. I think you could see both of those guys see their stock go up.
Yeah,
as it should, because I think both deserve it.
I agree. And a quick thought, Ryan. How wild is it the Indiana Hoosiers are the best team in the entire world right now? Is that wild or what?
It is wild. I mean, but when you watch them play, I mean, they continue to impress you. So it's tough to beat a team twice, but I think Indiana looks a lot better than they did when they beat them earlier in the season. So
it'll be funny because then the BBP for the third straight year, Brent Young would have a conflict when it comes to Championship Monday. It'll be my alma mater last year, Notre Dame, the year before that, Michigan. It's all just coming together, guys. It's just insane. So we'll see. But let's go ahead and timestamp this, and we'll roll into to some b-ball talk.
I took a bad drink of water. Hold on.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I just want to say it was cool seeing Alec give the touchdown ball to friend of the network, Greg Pierce, in the stands. Wow. Saw him in the highlight show last night.
He gave the ball to his dad?
He did.
What a stud. That's
awesome.
Good old Greg.
Greg's a man. He was rolling when I was down there in Indy watching him play the Jags.
Oh, yeah.
He's had a busy couple weeks.
He has.
Caden been on that trail.
I mean, he's actually gonna. I think he's also Louisville and Gonzaga also in the sights upcoming for Cade. So it's being in the Pierce family is a lot of fun right now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we're all in it. We are all in it.
Paid.
Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They service over 150 restaurants with weekly, low minimum next-day deliveries. They provide a wide range of food service products from to-go containers, cups, custom printed products, eco-friendly, and much more. They also have cleaning and restroom supplies for all your janitorial needs. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
All right. Well, we got to do it, guys. The conference slate has begun, the Big 12 gauntlet, if you will, with a L to a team that we are very familiar to being receiving a lot of L's from. That's right, the Houston Cougars. Yet again, 0-10 versus Houston in the Wes Miller era, and 13 straight losses now to the Houston Cougars. This most recent one coming on Saturday, 67-60, in a game that was tied at 60-60 with 3 minutes and 52 seconds left. The Bearcats didn't get a shot up until the very last shot of just insanity. Yet again, could not close out a game. Very frustrating, obviously, but a valiant effort going up against a Houston team that obviously is only going to continue to get better with the 3 freshmen that they have highly in the mix for them. They hit timely shots when they needed to. Bearcats had some good performances. I mean, that Day Thomas end of the first half will be something I'll remember for a while. The Mustafa Cham second half was yet again good. Having Zella looking like pretty decent, like what? Then of course there's some head scratching things. Shauna Bayev, when is it going to turn on? Jizzle, pretty steady game until the very end. Questionable charge block call. I don't
Terrible.
know.
Not questionable.
Yeah,
terrible. There was nothing about that that constituted a charge.
No.
The initial defender was moving. The secondary defender was not in position. Like there was nothing. I don't think it should have been a block per se, but there was nothing that should have been a charge about that. It was a terrible call. Terrible.
I agree. But Aaron, you had the aftermath of Keegan, so that means Chad and Ryan. Break down your thoughts. Give me your 2 cents on yet another tough loss. One where one team finished, and that team was not the Bearcats, and instead it's Houston. Now Bearcats 8-6. Got a tough game tomorrow night at West Virginia. Chad, what do you make of this one?
They just can't finish, man. Like it's been a recurring theme for the Wes Miller era. They get close, they battle, they fight. We've seen it how many times already this year that they get to that final 5 minutes, they struggle to get stops.
Yep.
And they can't efficiently or effectively get the ball in the bucket. I like that they decided to play downhill. They weren't going to settle for jump shots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love. I've seen they need to play through Baba more. My problem with Baba in those situations is his dribble's too high. Yeah. Like he's a 6'11" dude that you're asking to play downhill with guards digging down and defenders able to get their hand in there on his dribble. He's got 2 things can be true. He has a really good handle for a guy that's 6'11". But when you're trying to get him downhill towards the rim in a late game situation, there's too much space between his hand and the floor. And they were able to dig it out on that one. Jizzle has never had the tightest handle in close quarters in those situations, especially against Houston. You know they're going to be aggressive defensively. So you have got to be tight with the basketball. if you're going to attack and try to get to the rim on them. And they weren't tight with the basketball. Both times they were loose with the basketball, and they never even really got up towards the rim. I know you're hoping in that situation, because you're being aggressive and playing downhill, you can get a foul and go to the free throw line. That did happen, and Baba missed both free throws. So I commend Wes and the staff. I thought they ran good action to get both of those guys downhill. But neither guy was able to finish the play. And some of that, I think some of that is on coaching, because I don't know that I would have Baba dribbling downhill at the rim in that situation against Houston. There are teams I think it would be fine, because I don't think they apply the type of pressure on the ball that Houston does. But against Houston, they're going to be swiping and swatting at the ball and trying to knock it away before you get to your spot. Houston is not a team that lets you get to your spot. Right. And it backfired. But it's a pattern. And it's a pattern that is the reason that this fan base feels like they do about Wes Miller, because they can't get over the hump in those final 5 minutes. We've talked, it's a million times I've said this. It's one of the things I loved about basketball in the Huggins era. It's maybe the main thing I loved about basketball in the Mick Cronin era. You knew in the final 5 minutes they were going to get stops, and that the ball was going to be in the hands of Vaughn or Lance or SK or Troy or Jaron or Jake. There was always that guy that you felt comfortable. Give him the ball, 1-4 flat. Maybe you run a ghost ball screen. Maybe you run a little action, but you let those guys cook. And Wes has not been able to develop, recruit, whatever terminology you want to use. He hasn't been able to do it. He hasn't been able to find that go-to, here's the ball, make sure you make something happen with it. And Houston put the ball in the hands of Uzan and Flemings, and Uzan and Flemings got shit done. And what Cincinnati tried didn't work. And once again, you have a game where in the final 5 minutes, Cincinnati was in a position and they couldn't capitalize on that position. They couldn't get over the hump. And until that happens, I don't know how you can believe it's going to happen, because we haven't seen enough evidence that game on the line, 45 seconds on the clock, 2-point game, 3-point game, whatever, backyard scenario that you want to draw up, they haven't been able to get across the finish line. And it happened once again, 60-60. Houston scores the last 7 points. Cincinnati goes turnover, 2 missed free throws, turnover, and then a desperation 3 when they do finally get a shot off. And it's not good enough.
Yeah. It brings me back to that one crazy stat that popped up during a earlier game. It was like 0-30 or something when trailing with 5 minutes to go in the game. It's a trend, that down 5 with 5 minutes left in this game, you do claw back, tie it up at 60, and like you just said, there was nothing. After that, just absolutely nothing. So it's a very vicious trend. It's one that sucks, and one that makes you want to pull your hair out, because it just happens over and over again, especially against the high level quality opponents that they've been playing. Ryan, your thoughts on the game? There were 2 different times where you have, first was Shana Bayev wide open in the corner for 3. You knock that down. I think that would have either extended their lead in the first half, or it would have stopped the run that Houston was replying to. And then in the second half, Day Thomas had a 3 that went all the way in and then bounced out. You knock that down, you continue to extend the lead. Instead, Uzan comes down and knocks down another one of those of his 3s that he had in the second half. It's just those just flipping the scripts. I see a mention of Sincere Buck Harris. Some of his crazy drives where he ends up on the floor. I know one resulted in a Houston knockdown 3 on the other end that he was little late getting back to. I don't know. There's so much you can nitpick about it, but in the end, it was a handful of pretty good performances and then a handful of struggles. Obviously, Kerr knocking down a couple threes was cool to see, but now he's doubtful for tomorrow's game and the injury report that was just released. So that's where we're at. Ryan, what did you gather from watching the old Bearcats versus those pesky Houston Cougars?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with their ability to not only hang in there but establish a 10-point lead. I thought their energy was there. You felt the urgency. Because I didn't anticipate to ever look up at the scoreboard and see the Bearcats up by 10 points in that game. Because they were taking advantage of, Houston missing some shots, having their best player, not score. But Chad, you alluded to the 3 possessions of turnovers in crunch time. It's just you can't have
4 out of 5.
Yeah, it was for me. It
3
was
in a
like
row, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, the first 2 turnovers and then the charge call. It was just the inability to get off a shot in crunch time is just you're not going to win those games. But I also felt they had a swing there when they were up 10. Didn't they have 2 turnovers in a row there too, where it was?
I think so.
Yeah, and then you snap your fingers and a minute's off the clock and it's a 1-point game, just like that. And that, being able to get, if you can get that game to 15 points, not saying you're going to win, but just like being able to not just throw away like a lead that's so rare to get against a team like that, I think is just as, critical as the late game turnovers there towards the end. But it's the same tune that Chad was playing of this team. It can't execute in crunch time, whether it be, hey, let's extend a lead by being able to get good quality shots up, or let's fight back and keep this thing tight and go bucket for bucket, or get a bucket, get a stop, get a bucket, you're up 4. It's just something this team can't really do. And Chad, you're so right when you just talk about not having a guy. And I don't think they do each other favors. I've been bitching about this all year. Just the fucking handoff bullshit. It's like, if you want to do like go screen handoff shit, it's like a lot of the times they're not even going downhill. They'll do that for 20 seconds on the perimeter, just fuck around on the outside. And then it's like, all right, now let's get the ball to Jizzle. Let's get the ball to Baba and attack the rim with 10 seconds left. You're not going to have, if that's the plan of offensive attack in critical moments, it's not a recipe for success. It's the same thing of we're running our head against the wall repeatedly, doing the same things over and over and over. And to be in a spot where you have Houston, a top 10 team in the country, a team you've never beat, in 6 years at this point, to be able to have them at home, I think some of your best basketball you played all year against the quality of the team you were playing against, and to just, shit the bed once again, it's disappointing, but it's par for the course right now. I mean, a little bit of bright spot. It's like they could, like, if they play like that, I don't think they're going to be as bad in the conference as, we've been talking about. But there's nothing that's going to tell us that they're going to be able to deliver like that every night. If it's just, hey, obviously there's more juice, sold out 5th, 3rd, top 10 team. It's kind of like a rivalry for us, but not really for them because they just beat up on us all the time. But it's always a game that we circle when we get them at home to go, hey, let's go slay the dragon. And it's like nothing's telling me that this team is capable of delivering that type of effort and performance every single week. Every single game in the Big 12. But it was good. It was refreshing to see them, hang in there, not roll over, kind of take it to them at points in the game. But it's kind of just, it's kind of embarrassing to just talk about, yeah, let's hang our hat on that because that's how bad the season's been so far.
I love to hear your raw emotion and actual, like, I feel like it's taken, I don't know, a couple of years for you to get to the point where we've all been at as far as the frustration with the basketball team. But you're here. You're one of us now.
Yeah. It was kind of, I didn't think they were going to win the game going into it. And I was shocked. And it's like, they bring me right back in. They're up 10. I'm like, hey, they could win this game. But Houston's not going to roll over. So like when you snap your fingers and it's 1 point game, like, all right, shit, let's see if these boys can hang. They hung with them there. And then, once he missed the two, once they had the charge call, I was like, we're fucked. And then the 2 free throws missed. I think I turned the TV. Yeah, I turned the TV off. I went upstairs and got changed. I was like,
the thing I would definitely say is better is we've seen a bunch of times this year already that they get that 10, 11, 12 point lead. And then as soon as it's gone, they're done. And when that thing got to 5, it felt like, they're going to lose by 12, 13, 14 points. And it's going to look a lot like Louisville looked and a lot like Georgia looked. And, it felt like, here we go again. And then they get it back to tied. Yeah. And you're like, all right, they've got some fight in them. Let's see. Maybe they've got the momentum going into this final segment. And they just couldn't do anything. And
when Cham had the put
what
back
makes
dunk,
it so deflating. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. I was
like, here we go.
Yeah. Like it's there. Look, there's possibilities. It makes it more frustrating. It's like there is pieces there that can do it, and they're doing it against the best team in the conference and has been one of the best teams in the country, the past 4 years, or what do you want? 5 years?
Here's the part that's super frustrating for me. Like if you look at the Georgia game, the Louisville game, and this game, there were stretches when Day Thomas was dominant.
Right.
And other teams have been able to adjust and kind of take him away.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati hasn't made them pay for that.
Clemson game too.
Yeah. Clemson game too. Like you have got to be able to, okay, this team is adjusted. They're taking away what we were able to get Day hot. We have to make them pay with somebody else on the floor so that they have to come off of that a little bit. And it doesn't feel like in any of those games when teams have made the adjustment. Look, that's high major basketball. That's high level basketball. That teams are, Day is not AJ DeBanza that just you can't stop. Well, Darren Peterson when he's healthy. There's nothing you can do to knock them off of what they want to do or get them off of their spot. Day is a guy you can guard. Like you can take away some of the screen action that's getting him open. Like you can, I don't want to say take him out of the game, but you can make things really tough for Day if he is top of the scouting report. Yeah. Which in a bunch of these games, he has forced himself to be. The other team has said, the other really good team you're playing has said, we've got to take him away. Somebody else has to step up. Cham did a little bit in two different stretches against Houston, but like that's where Jizzle has to step up. That's where, I know Kerr was hurt, but like that's where you need somebody like Kerr to hit a couple shots so that the teams can't over focus on Day. That's where Baba needs to get going a little bit in that 2-man game. Maybe you run some 2-man game with Baba and Day, and if they're trying to force the ball out of Day's hands, then Baba makes them pay. And we're just not seeing that enough. Like we're not seeing, okay, this other team is selling out on Day. Somebody else has to make them pay for it. And the guard play just isn't good enough, right? It's not consistently the level of what we saw from Uzan and Flemings, not consistently at the level that we saw from Conwell and Michael Brown, not consistently what we saw from Georgia, not consistent. Clemson, I don't know what to think of them. I really don't know what to think of them. But the other three, like their guards were better than the combination of Cincinnati's guards.
Yeah. And that's when you bring up the point. It's like, okay, I think that guy was supposed to be, or the staff at least was hoping it would be Sean Abayev, and it just has not been that. And it's been tough. Real tough seeing the struggle that he's had, especially it's a wide open three that he had in the corner. One that you got to knock down. And so now Jizzle's back. Maybe continuously. I thought Jizzle did a really good job for the first 30 minutes of the game, like 75% of the game, and then just that couple turnovers there down the stretch that just kind of just tainted what was a pretty solid game by him. Just being a floor manager, just managing the game. He didn't force the issue too much, and then when the bright lights turned on, it was a struggle down there. But it's how it was for everyone, and it just sucks because like Ryan said, it's like you get brought back in, and you're just like, oh, wait a minute, oh, okay, let's go, and then the loss happens, and then you take a step back, and you're like, all right, I've done this for like 30 games over the last 5 years. Like, I need to take a deep breath. It's really hurting my everything being living. So it's a tough scenario to be in. But the greatest thing, like what Wes said, it's the Big 12. You got another game, quick turnaround. You got, tomorrow night, West Virginia, you're 2.5-point underdogs. And then
these next three are the season.
Yeah.
These next three are the season. Because if you come out 1-2 or 0-3 in these next three, guess what? Like, you know what's after that, right, boys?
Yep.
So you've got West Virginia and UCF on the road. And then you've got Colorado at home. And then it's Iowa State at home, Arizona away, Arizona State away, which is that second game of the West Coast swing, which I always hate. And then Baylor and then Houston. Right now, Ken Palm has Cincinnati 1-7 in those, or 1-6 in those next 7 games. And they already lost to Houston. Arizona State's a 1-point Arizona State by 2, sorry. And then Baylor is favored, according to Ken Palm, by 1 at home. Colorado is the only game they're expected to win. I don't even want to think about what this looks like at 1-7, 1-8 in a month from now. February 5th would be the next, after Colorado, February 5th would be the next game they are projected to win, West Virginia at home. They are projected to win 1 game in January. I am going to jump out my goddamn window before we get to that point. So these next 3 are, I think, winnable. And UCF, obviously, UCF looks really good right now. We have seen this act from them before. So let's see what this looks like as they really get into Big 12 play. But at West Virginia, at UCF, Colorado at home, the season rests on these 3 games.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Right. I mean, obviously, both West Virginia and UCF would be the mythical opportunity to win a quad one game. Yeah. Which still shockingly has only happened 9 times in the Wes Miller era, which is just it's
not good enough.
Not so shocking at this point.
It's and the crazy thing is I did a quick look at all the quad one wins. Last year it was 3-12 in quad one. And one was very fringe. It was a home game against Baylor. That's one of them. Then it was a home game against BYU. That's the other one at UCF. In tell me if you guys see a bit of a trend here. In 2024, at BYU, arguably one of the bigger wins, probably the biggest win of the last 5 years. Kansas in the Big 12 tournament when Kansas pretty much was playing with bare bones. Neutral court Dayton win, and then at UCF. In 2023, it was a 1-8 against the quad one. The lone victory was at UCF. And then in 2022, year 1-7 with the neutral court win against Illinois. So you got 9 wins in quad one. 3 of those 9 were at UCF. So hey, here we go. At UCF this Sunday. Quad one opportunity. Let's see.
It hurts, guys. It hurts.
Yeah.
Are we time stamping?
At
the
Texas
pain
Tech
is never ending.
Quad one. I missed that one. Sorry, Tucker.
What was what?
At
Texas Tech, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Missed that one. But
Texas Tech hadn't become Texas Tech really yet at that point.
They were Pop Isaacs, the Fighting Pop Isaacs. Was there? But yeah, so that's that. Real quick, the mailbag is massive. So Ryan, you got just one quick riff. Just give me one quick riff.
Yes. So we've been watching the very not entertaining kind of bowl season unfold so far. What would you guys think about if you shift the bowl games to the first game of the season? So you have your previous season impacts your bowl seeding. That way you're having like good slate of non-conference matchups to kind of start out the year, and they really make a big like week one big showcase of everything. That way you get more people involved, more seats in the stands, and you kind of start the season off on a bang, and then you really just have conference championships and the playoff to follow.
Well, if you did that, it would be at bowl locations. So everybody would be starting their season on the road in August when kids are going back to school. I think it would be a really tough sell.
They don't go to class anyway. Come on now.
No, I'm talking about like families with high school kids, younger kids going back to school that week. It would not be, Aaron, it would not be ideal in terms of like getting at, the appeal logistically of bowl season was it's during Christmas break. People can get out of their cold weather location and go to Texas or go to Florida or, do something fun. I don't know how it would work. I'm not against it, Ryan. I just don't know logistically if it would be worth trying to save if that's the way that you have to try and save it, I guess is a good way to put it.
I know you're making the argument that that families may not be able to travel. I don't know how many families right now are traveling to the Birmingham Bowl or
nobody's ever traveled to the Birmingham Bowl. That's not the one we're talking about.
Well, I mean, even the Liberty Bowl though, like you're talking about if it was Cincinnati in the Liberty Bowl and you're traveling 5-6 hours to get to Memphis?
8.
That's okay.
It's 8.
It's still not dreadful. I don't know. I think it's a way to get a resurgence on the bowls, and you have players not sitting out if it's game one. So now you've alleviated that problem. I think that as far as the people who don't have kids in school go, like your boosters and different families and such, that even not your top tier boosters, but your second, third, fourth, fifth tier boosters, I think they're starting to make that trip now instead of just kind of, well, there's how many was it, Ryan? 26 guys sitting out.
Yeah.
So now you've got 26 guys playing, their families and what have you, on top of everybody else. I think it's worth looking into, simply because it just gives a resurgence to something that right now is kind of dying on the branch.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not worth a shot, Aaron. I just don't know that moving are you going to move to 13 games? Because I don't think everybody that had a winning record last year is going to be okay. Right. Yeah, remember, these schedules are made years in advance. Years and years in advance.
Week 0
so,
game?
Well, I understand. I do understand.
You're going to have to, at that point, you're going to have to say the teams that had a winning record last year are all going to get a 13th game, and the teams that didn't have a winning record last year aren't. The rosters, I don't think I even have to speak on what the rosters are from last year to this year. I just don't know. Like, is it maybe worth it to see if you can save bowl games? Okay. I just don't know that this would be salvageable for, making this work. I don't hate the idea, Ryan. I just don't know that it works. Like, is it worth trying it? Maybe you can try it out for a couple years and see how it goes. But I mean, people have already scheduled their summer vacations. Like, I don't know that you're going to get a lot of people that are going to bite and say, hey, I'm going to see a Florida team with a new coach play Illinois with half of its roster new in Orlando on Labor Day weekend.
How's that any different, though, than Cincinnati having to play Nebraska for game 1, I guess, is my question.
Cincinnati agreed to that.
Sure. And you agree if you're playing in the bowl game that to
No, you don't.
What do you mean? Yes, you would. As far as
pay the $500,000 fine if you don't agree. You don't have you get fined they got fined $500,000 for not going to bowl games. So are you just gonna the opt out? You just pay your $500,000 fine, then you don't have to worry about that. It's money to the conferences. That's the only reason that the conferences want to keep this going, is because there's a huge check that gets distributed to the schools from all the teams that made bowl games.
As far as your scheduling conflict and you saying that you have games scheduled out years in advance, I think for 1 week, this first week, you could not have anything scheduled. And if you end up in a bowl game, we've seen teams, we saw during COVID, we saw teams put some things together. So at times a week or two in advance.
In COVID, nobody was. That's gaslighting at its finest. We saw them do it in COVID because there was a worldwide pandemic. So there's contracts, Aaron.
Sure,
you got to buy out of contracts. It's not.
If you were to do this, though, you would have no one scheduling that. Your top teams would all be slated into bowl games, and everyone else is filling in the gaps. And you have the entire offseason to figure out who's playing who the rest of the slate that first week. It's not that big a deal for 7 months to figure it out. When they're putting it together,
teams are expecting to play 7 home games or however many home games. And now you're going to have to give up. You saw how people acted when Cincinnati gave up a home game. You're going to give up a home game to go play 7 hours from home, a neutral site game against a team you have no connection with, that both teams went 4-7, 4-8 last year.
If it means more money for your team, why wouldn't
it? Does. How do we know that it means more money?
I think that would all be part of this, though.
Royer, look at this monster you created. Cool idea. Debate. Pretty nifty. I wouldn't mind seeing a Duke Mayo Bowl in August.
That would be disgusting to get the mayonnaise back in August.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
the
just
mayonnaise
sitting
on ice.
It's sitting, or it's on the sideline the whole time, just baking.
Pop-Tart bowl.
with the Duke mayonnaise guy running around with warm mayonnaise bottles that he's chucking to people in the stands in his overalls without a shirt. What was that?
It was awesome.
Aaron, I wouldn't be against trying it. I don't think it would work. I don't think the logistics of doing it the way that it would need to be done, I don't think it would work. I think it would be one of those things that we see for a couple years, and then bowl games that don't include the college football playoff would just be gone forever.
But then also, like is mentioned by D-Fan in the chat,
yeah, the guys that earned it aren't going to get it.
Yeah, it's a reward. So
maybe they got one at the beginning of the season though that they hadn't earned. So it would,
but maybe they didn't. Maybe a guy transfers and now he transfers 3 times and he misses his bowl game 3 times.
Mm-hmm. Sorry,
yeah, the poor guy in the Pop-Tart suit when it's 115 degrees in Orlando.
Literally, might have to rethink that one.
Like the Pop-Tart guy's just dead. It's heat stroke.
They're eating an actual Pop-Tart at that point. It's just been toasting.
I did go to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, and I tell you what, man, no matter what, the bowl games are fun, and people get into it. And boy, the Cheez-It samples that they were giving out, I got to know Darlene on a personal level. She was handing out these Cheez-It packets, and I just kept on eating them. It was fun. Michigan lost, but it was a fun day. So bowl games are fun. Good question, Ryan. And that could have been a nightcap. You two. That would have been a fun one.
Maybe we'll bring it back in a couple weeks. Rehash it.
There we go.
Oh boy.
But yeah, let's go ahead and timestamp, and we'll hop into this monster mailbag we got.
Timestamp brought to you by Quick Paper Supply, your local and family-owned restaurant supply company for all your non-food products. They provide mostly disposable restaurant supplies, to-go containers, cups, pizza boxes, to-go bags, can liners, napkins. They've been open since 2009 and are one of the largest minority-owned companies in the city. Call Nick 513-470-2029 and reference Bearcats for 20% off your first month of purchases.
All right. Massive mailbag, as Brent alluded to. So let's get after it. And that mailbag is brought to you by, of course,
Greg Hooden. The Greg Hooden mailbag. If you are looking for a new or used Toyota, all you got to do is go see Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. He's got all the deals. He'll get you taken care of. You can find him on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, at Cincy Greg Hooden. I know at least one of you guys have gone and picked up your new, or I don't know if it was new or used, but got a Toyota from Greg. Mentioned Bearcat Journal. They were a long-time podcast listener. So do us a favor. Do Greg a favor. The next time you're in the market for a car, go see Greg at Beachmont Toyota. Ask for him, or just send him a message on social media, and he will get you taken care of.
All right. Well, let's get after it here. We will start in the football portion as we always do. And the first question, does Samaj have a legitimate shot at the starting quarterback spot next season, or is the staff relying on finding their next QB1 in the portal?
I think they would prefer to go, if you're going to spend portal money on a portal quarterback for QB1, you would like that person to be QB1. Do I think Samaj will get a chance to compete for that spot? Yeah. But I mean, given the numbers that are being thrown around, even if you're not at the very top of the market, you're not getting somebody else's starting quarterback for backup money. So logic would say, yeah, if you're going to get a portal in the quarterback, you're going to be paying QB1 dollars for said quarterback. And that means QB1 opportunities for said quarterback.
One would assume. Brent, any more to add to that?
No. I mean, obviously you see the writings on the walls with the aggression that they're taking to try and find a quarterback through the portal. So I think it's their path that they want would be for Samaj to probably not be the starter.
Rank these 5 reasons, 1 through 5, 1 being tops, for why Sorsby left the Bearcats without hesitation. A, the thrill of playing at home in Texas. B, his relationship with Sat took a turn. C, his perception of our offense and play calling. D, the money. E, the lack of winning versus a chance to compete for the college football playoff and some Heisman hype.
The money. Come on, guys. Come on.
I'm going to say a certain volleyball player.
I don't think that had anything to do with it. There's volleyball players at every major Division I university.
Yeah,
probably money and winning.
Money and winning.
Money.
Yes.
Money. If it was winning, it's LSU. Lane Kiffin and what he has done with quarterbacks is
well, that's why I said money first.
It's money. And if money first, money second, money probably third, and then anything else after that. Money.
Is the buyout paid by Brendan Sorsby or by the school that he goes to, or is it part of the deal?
That I have no idea. I am not a lawyer. I do not have enough of a background in these situations to answer how that works out. From right now, I don't know that it's even legally enforceable, the buyout. I think that's being disputed in court because Georgia is trying to get their buyout, I think, from somebody. And the kid was just like, I'm not doing it. So.
Fair enough. All right. Do you think it is possible that a team such as UC could have a handshake agreement with a player whose team is in the Final Four, with the understanding that nothing will be announced until after their season is complete?
No, it is not possible to have an agreement with a player. Now, could there maybe be an agent that you have a wink, wink, nudge, nudge situation with? Sure, but, there are Nebraska thought they had Kenny Menchie locked up from the jump, right? And
not so fast, my friend.
Now it sounds like he's going to Kentucky. So remember, you're making handshake agreements with agents, and agents are agents, and their job is to do what is best for their client. And sometimes that also means screwing you over. So is it possible? No, it's not possible with the player. It is possible with the agent, but trust that as far as you can throw it.
All right. How many starter level players do we expect or need to get out of the portal? Do we see any of the current signees as starters next season?
I mean, there's 4 guys. I expect Cannon to start at corner, I guess.
You need about 12.
Logical to me. Yeah, they need roughly 12 starters. Now, some of those, like I think tight end is going to come internal. I think, the right guard will be internal. Hey, Greg. I think your linebackers are probably going to be in-house, if I had to guess. So 8, 9, something like that, starters.
Yep.
I don't know enough. I don't know enough about Otutu to say whether he's going to be a starter or not. I mean, Cole Tab, I guess you would hope that he is.
I told him he's coming to compete to start. That's probably
they're gonna, that's gonna be told to most of these guys, Ryan. You're gonna come compete for a starter spot. The chances of landing a guy when you tell him you're gonna come be a depth piece that's gonna struggle to make the 2 deep, usually probably not great unless you overpay him for that role. But there's 4, so. Cannon, I guess, would be the one that I feel pretty confident in saying, that you can probably write him down in pen as a starter unless some crazy shit happens the next couple weeks.
Unless you find 5 more 6'3" corners.
With production and quality, yeah.
Who is the portal player you see as having the biggest impact that has signed so far?
There's 4 guys.
I mean, like you said, Payne's kind of a lottery ticket, man.
He is a lottery ticket. I don't know that lottery tickets lose more than they win, Brent.
Right. I agree, but I don't know. That he's a high level.
But we keep playing.
We do. We never stop. 1-800-GAMBLER.
I find it interesting. People want players to commit to schools/programs. Do schools/programs do same? I thought UC was all set for running back, but we have brought in 2 more. Does that mean guys like Covey or Zion will lose carries? I felt like they did a great job and excited to see what they could do a whole year. Does staff communicate with players what plans are for portal players?
They communicate what the plans are for that player. And then if there's portal players added, that player gets to decide, what that means to them. Look, Cincinnati lost their top 2 backs. They didn't recruit a high school back. So
3 with Caffey.
So you gotta go add bodies to the room, and you want them to be as talented as humanly possible. So there's going to be competition in the room, but I mean, you got to have the depth to run a team, and you lost your 2 starting backs. So you're going to go in the portal and find some running backs you think can help. Welcome to college sports.
Yeah, competition's never not a bad. Go ahead. Go.
I'm just going to say, you wouldn't want to go into the season with 3 running backs on your team, ever.
No, ever.
Yeah. Competition is a good thing.
Okay. Yes.
Iron sharpens iron and whatnot.
FE2.
F everybody 2 times, as Mr. Doug Phillips would say.
Doug.
Can you confirm if Lozo is returning?
Is he in the portal? No,
not yet.
So the plan, I believe, is for him to be a starter here. So I would be surprised if that doesn't come to fruition. He was legitimately pushing Evan Tengestal for starting reps at left guard, and Evan Tengestal ended up an All-American. So I think the hope, the plan for Lozo is clear.
That ends the football portion of the mailbag. Moving on to the basketball portion of the mailbag.
Let's go.
What shocked you more? 5 losses in the non-con, the return of Jizzle James, the football team finishing with 5 straight losses, the football team starting 7-1, or John Cunningham's casual handling of the status of the athletic programs in his letter to the fans?
Ooh.
Jizzle James returning
was
the most shocking.
I agree, because I was told specifically that was not happening, and it did happen. I was not told any of those other things were not happening. So I'll go with Jizzle.
Brent, what's that saying? Desperate times call for what?
I think it's desperate measures. And you know what?
Yeah.
Golly hot damn. I tell you what, if you would have told me Jizzle James is going to be starting against Houston in the first game of the Big 12 back, 3 months ago, I'd say, man, you sure you're the one that doesn't need to go down south?
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago. Forget 3 months, 3 weeks ago.
Insanity. But yeah, I think the 5 losses in the non-con would be second on that list. Third would be football team starting 7-1. I don't think that was too shocking, because they had 2 tough wins during that time. So and we all were kind of high on them. Now the 5 straight losses to close the year. That's pretty interesting.
I will say it was I saw someone tweet it out, like just a screenshot of like the schedule and how it all played out. And I was like, holy shit, we we really did win 7 games in a row. I completely forgot that it was like that high of a high. And then like all the green W's, then just boom. It was a very Christmassy looking schedule. A lot of green and a lot of red back to back.
Nuts. And then the Cunningham letter. I mean,
I didn't even see that. You guys have to send that to me.
I mean, it's bad, but
piss me off.
Yeah, probably. It's the only thing I didn't like is it was very buzzword, like it didn't come off with any authenticity at all.
Was it ChatGPT?
I mean, it wasn't, but like
it was lawyer speak.
Like it, yeah.
It's my favorite kind of stuff. I'm gonna read that right away. I'm gonna love it.
For someone who isn't a basketball guru like myself, what is actually going on in the last 5 minutes? Is it a lack of execution? Is it a lack of X's and O's? Is it not having the top 100 alpha that you tend to mention? Question mark.
Yes.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, all 3. Now, the other 2 get easier if you have the third.
Yeah, you don't need X's and O's if you got the dude.
But they don't have the dude. So then it comes down to execution and X's and O's, and they have not been good at either of those. So if I was ranking the 3,
if you have the
go ahead.
I was just gonna make a joke. When you have the dude, the X's and O's get as simple as double teaming a guy who's scoring 30 points. It's something that it's pretty simple. It could be
unless you haven't practiced. You got to practice double teaming.
You got to practice 4 guys down low, spread out, create as much space for the dude to get a bucket, and you got to practice double teaming. It's kind of hard to do both of those at once, so it's understandable why.
You bring up practicing double teams. Do you think they've gotten to practicing the last 5 minutes yet?
Hopefully, yeah. They had some extra time over the Christmas break, so hopefully they worked it in.
They put 5 minutes up on the scoreboard. It's like, go play. Yeah. We're going to work on this.
That's like the previous basketball coach just constantly said, like, we have about 30% of the offense installed so far. And it's like, Coach, we're 20 games into the season. What are we doing here? Oh, we've got about 50% of the offense installed. Okay. All right.
Got to play 96 feet.
End of year presser.
Yeah, right.
There are 7 teams from the Big 12 in today's AP poll, 8 receiving votes. Are the early returns on the Big 12 better than expected or as expected?
I'd say maybe a little bit better, a touch better. Like
better because at the top, like I think Arizona is just phenomenal. Like them and Michigan.
Iowa State has been a monster too.
Iowa State too, yeah. And then I think like BYU's still really good. I think Houston's decent, not like I think they're good. Obviously, they're going to be good at the end.
Tech.
I think it's more like Cincinnati maybe is UCF, that team that Cincinnati was supposed to be. TCU starting to come on strong.
Who knows with TCU? Like again, Aaron and I are holding to at least I am. Like this is a completely different team at home than on the road, and they have not played a true road game yet.
And they're coach of the Vampire.
They played 3 neutral games. Every other non-conference game at home, they lost to New Orleans at home. They lost to Michigan at home. They lost to a not very good Notre Dame team at home.
Yeah.
They won their 3 neutrals, Florida, Wisconsin, and North Texas. But I'm very interested tomorrow at Kansas to see exactly who TCU is away from home. We know they're good at TCU.
Yeah.
We've talked plenty about Master P being the head coach at New Orleans, but have we talked?
He's not the head coach. He's the president.
Oh, okay. But have we talked enough about his son, Percy Miller, at Houston?
Hersey.
Okay, I thought they said Percy on the telecast.
Yeah, I believe it's Hersey.
Well, it's Mercy, but
Mercy. Hersey is the other one. Hersey's the one that played at Xavier, right?
Percy is Lil Romeo,
it's Master
right?
P.
It's Master P.
Yeah, and then his son, Lil Romeo, is junior, I think. And then Hersey played. I don't know if he might still be playing, but Mercy is the sophomore at Houston. Yes.
Yeah.
Imagine picking up that.
Percy is Lil Romeo.
Imagine picking up that house phone. Can I talk to Hersey, Mercy, Percy Jr.? Lordy. All right. I've seen people post here that Wes Miller's dad has contributed extra to the basketball NIL fund. Any truth behind that? And any concern the NIL pool will be less for the new coach?
I don't think there's any truth to that. I think that is a rumor I don't think his dad is worth what people think his dad is worth. I think his dad's got a lot of money, but I don't think his dad has I'm bankrolling the NIL at Cincinnati type money. No, I do not believe that.
How much is liquid? How much is
his net worth is not super high.
Moving on. During your time as a UC sports fan, has this been the worst period you've experienced?
Yes. Mine's a lot smaller of a window, though.
I mean, this is because it's always been one of the two, but
it's not true entirely.
Well, I mean, kind of it's been where
years.
when basketball's down, football went to bowl games those years when
the end of Mentor into D'Antonio, that transition coupled with Hugs firing, the AK year into
Nancy.
The beginning of Mick was not great. Not great.
Those were, I mean, that beginning of Mick, I think those were still football. That was D'Antonio when he was winning, though, right?
But he didn't win right away in the Big East, and even that year that he won at the end, they weren't great. They didn't get rolling until later in that season.
Yeah,
I think the difference though is how much expectation was there compared to how much expectation we've had over the course of the last 4 years. I guess more so.
Yeah,
the last 2 years.
But it also, Aaron, was a transition into the Big East that didn't go great. I mean, the first year in the Big East was AK's first year, and they missed the tournament. And then football, it got, like I said, it got going under D'Antonio, but I don't think that whole thing was because remember that first year they had Gino, D'Antonio's first year, the last year of Conference USA, and they won and they looked good. Then they were the youngest team, and I know the youngest defense in college football the first year in the Big East, and they struggled. And then the start of year 3 was bumpy, and then they got hot towards the end, and that boosted D'Antonio's stock. And then you had Brian Kelly. I think the Brian Kelly stuff, that last part of D'Antonio's third year and the Brian Kelly stuff kind of eliminates the remembrance of that transition when they were so young. Almost all those guys that went to the Orange and the Sugar Bowls were starters or heavy contributors as freshmen and sophomores. And then you had the first year of Mick, which was, I mean, they're probably about the same. But those were, especially because of how sloppy all the stuff with Hugs was, and then not keeping AK, that was not a good time for the UC fan base. It just wasn't as loud then as it is now. People hated Mike Thomas.
Right. But I mean, so 2006, the football team started, that was the last D'Antonio year. Then 2007 was the first year with BK. So I mean, they kind of got hot, and then like in the beginning of the
BK let it
era.
roll. Yeah, but that first year in the Big East with D'Antonio into the early part of the second year, coinciding with Hugs getting fired, everything that happened the AK year, guys getting kicked off the team in the NIT because they didn't fulfill their academic requirements. Then Mick and how messy that was because people turned on Mick because he left to go to Louisville and then came back and they didn't want him. Like, it was ugly. It was ugly back then. It would have been as ugly as it is now, fan base wise. Look, there were like people wanted to burn Nancy Zimpher at the stake at that point in time.
Some still do.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, maybe you could convince me that this is slightly worse or that was I think both of them were the two lowest points I've seen for this fan base.
Let's revisit this question on February 5th.
Fair.
Write that down.
There was no AK was, remember that the international incident was AK came back to play in a tournament or something, right? He was coaching somewhere else. Came back to play in a tournament. He was at Ole Miss then, I think, and got in, like, punched a cab driver or something, like whatever that was. Called it you can't call the cops. It'll be an international incident.
There were some words said too. So
yeah, that was a rough time for this fan base.
All right, let's end the basketball portion on a high note. Who would start on your Wes Miller almost had him all-star team? I'll start. Point guard, Cam Collier. Shooting guard, Philon. I don't know his first name. Small
Isaiah
forward,
Collier.
Cohen. Sorry, you're right. I was thinking
LeBaron Philon.
LeBaron Philon, Cohen Carr, Rink Mass,
go.
Flory Badunga. I wouldn't include Philon because they never had a shot with LeBaron Philon. Like, they were like, he would mention 5 schools and sometimes Cincinnati would be the 5th. I think they wanted a shot with him pretty bad, but I don't think they ever really had a shot with LeBaron Philon. I wouldn't include him. I'd probably put Estrada at shooting guard, Aaron Estrada, that went to Alabama. So Collier, Estrada, small forward,
Rob Banks.
Rob some fucking Banks. I don't know on small forward. I mean, Cohen Carr is just electric. So maybe for that, give me Cohen Carr. Rink Mast is the killer. Rink Mast would have been top of the Big 12 type guy both of his seasons. And then Flory's good. Flory's good. That's not a bad list.
That ends the basketball portion of the mailbag. Let's keep it moving in the baseball portion. One more go. Oh. Any early feel for what the identity will be for the team this year? I'm just going to put it out there. Probably be Bishop Ball.
I was just going to say it.
I know. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Steel.
Bishop Ball, baby.
Butt and steel.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
They didn't have a chance at Quaintance either, Tucker. That was the beginning of NIL, and Jaden Quaintance was going to get a lot more than Cincinnati was ready to pay a player.
Yep. That ends the baseball portion of the mailbag, but thanks for keeping them coming. I think that's two weeks in a row that UC 50 Cats
they're going to be aggressive. They're going to put pressure on you, and they're going to make you beat them.
We got to get Coach on before the season starts.
I was going to say, we're probably not too far from having Bishop on with us, especially if the basketball team keeps losing. Let's go.
Doug Martin, Coach Bishop.
At that point, let's just have every player because I don't know how much I want to talk about basketball if they go 1-8.
Yeah.
Man. And the banks. This might be the fullest banks ever. Four questions in the banks. What is the? I feel like this is a Brent special. What is the largest bet you have ever made with a close friend that you wound up collecting or paying?
Brent, this is you.
We ain't talking monetary.
I don't gamble. I don't gamble.
But one time I did make a bet with a friend, and I lost because, it was all sunshine and rainbows for me. It was the first team that John Brandon had. I said that team was going to 100% make the. It might have been the second team actually. Yeah, it was the team with. Let me see here. Yeah. Well, anyway, it was the Nope, the second team. I said that they were going to make the tournament, NCAA tournament, and we all know that didn't happen. We all know that was a crash and burn. Yeah, and so losing that bet, I'm supposed to get Bob Huggins tattooed on my rear end. I have not paid that yet, so I'll keep you updated, Killer V, if I
like his name or his face.
Face.
Do we have any tattoo artists listening to this? That
one day
is done.
I'm ready to get this done.
And my friend group brings it up all the time. They're always like, Brent, a man's only as good as his word. Where's the tattoo? So I'm never gonna outlive it. So
have you picked out like?
Oh, I've looked at a lot of different options. Believe me, I might do that Ed Orgeron one where they said Ed Orgeron walked into his what was it, his plastic surgeon, and said, "Give me the Bob Huggins." You guys see that picture?
Yeah, I found it.
Pretty funny one. But yeah,
I found it.
Okay.
Right there. That one.
Yep, just looking at it. Yeah. Could be doable. All right.
I want to get this done.
I guess that's better than
DM me.
I guess that's better than getting like a B and a B on each cheek and having Huggins underneath it.
Oh, fair.
Could you get aluminum cans? Just like a string of aluminum cans?
No, it's the recycle symbol.
I know. I'm riffing. I'm adding on to that. Like just like a wedding. You know how they used to put the aluminum cans on the back of the car? Avid recycle.
Just right Huggins. Yeah, I like that.
Mustard suit Huggins.
Oh boy. What are a few of your all-time laughable you got punished for that infractions that have happened in college sports before pay-to-play became legal?
I mean, the best is Kelvin Sampson and everything he went through for impermissible phone calls. And then like a year later, they were just like, we can't control, like, because it was really before like text messaging was even a thing.
Yeah.
And then they just got to the point, they're like, we can't control this at all. And Kelvin paid a heavy, like I have often wondered like how high up the list of like the greatest coaches in college history he would be if he didn't have that stuck to him.
He was like legitimately blackballed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he had to go to the NBA and be like an assistant in the NBA.
Yeah, it's insane. Obviously the Harbaugh one for the cheeseburger is pretty funny.
The Bruce Pearl, the picture of Aaron Kraft at a barbecue.
At a barbecue, yeah. Yeah.
Selling golden pants with Ohio State.
Yeah.
And the vest getting punished for that.
Yeah.
It brought us Luke Fickell, ultimately.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, there's obviously there's a lot more, but I mean, it's just crazy to think like, I mean, even like I heard like the Enes Kanter thing, like pretty much didn't let him play because he
like $60
like a tiny bit of money from
yeah
playing foreign ball. Now it's like, oh, you're a 24-year-old that got drafted in the NBA. You can play. Why not? Come on in. Here we go.
Bruce Pearl turning in Green Bay or whatever it was. and then becoming a giant cheater.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Throwing a chair or punching a kid in the face mask. I mean,
yeah,
those weren't infractions. Those were just, social miscues.
Coaching hard.
Back in my day, our coaches used to punch the players in the face right on the court, right on the field.
What is something you figured out way too late in life compared to the norm?
I don't even know.
For me, it was having kids. Figured that out way too late in life compared to the norm.
The value of the dollar.
Yeah, I guess.
Royer, what's one for you, brother? Maybe that we hurry up real fast to get through school just to work every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one, Brent. I don't know if I can top that one.
It's a toughie. How to change a tire.
Yeah, I know how to change a tire. I'm not gonna.
They have to get your oil changed.
Socks can also be worn on your feet.
I blew out an engine. That's a good one, Aaron. I blew out an engine on the oil thing, Brent.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Guys, every 5,000 miles, go over to Danco Gel.
Hey, now $10
or do it in your own garage.
Ryan Royer. There we go.
All right. And last but not least, Chad, looking at your BCJ team, Aaron, Brent, Dave, Royer, and Keegan, who is most likely to enter the portal? Who would you prioritize? And how would you allocate your monies to keep your business growing?
Oh, baby.
All right. Aaron is most likely to enter the portal. I'm mean to him a lot.
Where would I go?
Look, a lot of guys enter the portal without anywhere to go, Aaron. They end up stuck. Like they end up just ending their college careers.
Aaron's covering OU. Not always greener, man.
I would allocate my money to Keegan because he writes, and I fucking hate writing. Like I'm good at it. I spent a lot of time at Bearcat Journal writing. The number one goal, that's why I hired Brent. And then Brent started his own business and didn't have time to write anymore. But writing is priority number one for me because I am terrible at it. I hate it. It takes me forever. It's just out of my comfort zone. I've never liked it. So Keegan, because I don't want to write.
Tweet and network, Chad. That is what you do well. And talk.
I talk, I network, I connect. I'm an insider, I think would be an accurate term for me because I've made and built relationships all across the city. But writer is not in the description. That will not be on my tombstone, writer.
I'm a face or a producer on every show on this network, and you think I'm going to enter the portal? Most likely to enter portal. Get out of here.
I don't think Royer's going to enter the portal. Royer's loyal to the soil.
I think
Keegan I ain't going anywhere.
Keegan's most likely to enter the portal.
Yeah, that's probably true. I just don't want to think about that. For reasons listed 2 minutes ago, I don't even want to think about that.
Right.
That's the mailbag. Get us out of here, Brent.
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New Year. Full force, full swing, full force. Happy New Year 2026. Basketball, football, portal. Everything is firing up. Ryan Royer is very excited. He is my best friend, so I'm excited too. It's going to be a lot of fun days. The Bearcat Journal website will be popping with all this portal news. Basketball tomorrow night, West Virginia. Gosh, the last 2 times we went to Morgantown, not too fun. No. Let's see if we can change that tomorrow night. And then, of course, our Quad 1 Dandy at UCF on Sunday. So let's see if we can't try and get a win or two this week and make it a good one. But of course, stay locked into BCJ. We got everything for you. So shouts to Since Light. Shouts to Danco Transmission and Auto Care. Shouts to Quick Paper Supply. Shouts to Greg Hood and shouts to everyone else who listened. Love you all. But for my guys, for my crew, for my squad, for Aaron Smith, for Chad Brendel, for Ryan Royer, I'm Brent Young. Yet again, another fantastic BBP presented by BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.